I will welcome him. Welcome, sir. Sorry, kept you waiting, sir. No problem. Proceedings will be taken by Johnson, sir.
I'm putting live. Can I say it?
Good evening, everybody. I request everyone to stand for Kadagulwal, Tamil. This evening marks a historic occasion where we strive to initiate a progressive thread of dialogue between policy and industry. For this, we have a new hero, the real future of Tamil Nadu BJP and the Tamil Nadu state, a very young blood, which all our dreams is going to come through only through this man, which we are really looking forward. We really welcome, sir, for this occasion, sir. Secondly, we have, as you say, when the king is going on, there will always be a Thalapathy right next to him. So we have our General Secretary, Mr. Karunagarajan, sir, who always works with shoulder to shoulder. This is the first time I think we have seen State President, General Secretary working after 9:30 also at the office. It was very surprising. After 9:30, 10, they are working so immensely. And as youngsters and party karyakartas and industrialists, we are really happy, and I can see a real good future for Tamil Nadu through the BJP of Tamil Nadu. I would like to call upon Karunagarajan sir to speak a few words before Annamalai sir will take over.
அருமையான சந்திப்பு நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு ஏற்பாடு செய்த திரு சித்தார்த் அவர்களுக்கும் அன்பு தம்பி ஜான்சன் அவர்களுக்கும் எனது வாழ்த்துக்கள். முதல் முறையாக தொழிலதிபர்களை சந்திக்கிற ஒரு முதல் கூட்டம் திரு அண்ணாமலை ஐபிஎஸ் அவர்கள் மாநில தலைவருக்கு நீங்கள் வழங்கியிருக்கீங்க. அதற்காக வாழ்த்துக்களை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். என்னோடு இங்கே வரை இருந்திருக்கிற எங்களது ஊடக பிரிவு தலைவர் பிரசாத் அவர்களுக்கும் அன்பு சகோதரர் கிருஷ்ணன் நந்தானி அவர்களுக்கும் மற்றும் இங்கே நிறைய பேரை தெரியும். சில நேரம் பார்க்குறாரு, ஒருத்தர் பேராக சொன்னாலும் லேட் ஆகிடும். எல்லாருக்கும் ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியான ஒரு தருணம் இது. எல்லாருடைய குரலும் எல்லா இடத்துக்கும் கேட்கணும். நம்ம எல்லாரும் நல்லா இருக்கணும், மக்கள் நல்லா இருக்கணும். அதான் இன்னைக்கு பிரதமர் மோடி அவர்களுடைய அடிப்படை தத்துவம். இது அவர் மட்டும் இல்லை, தீன்தயாள் பண்டிட்ஜி மட்டுமல்ல, டாக்டர் சியாம் பிரசாத் முகர்ஜி அவர்களும் கூட சப்கா சாத் சப்கா விகாஸ் சப்கா விஸ்வாஸ் என்று இன்னைக்கு பிரதமர் சொல்லுகிறார் என்று சொன்னால், அனைவரும் இணைவோம், அனைவரும் உயர்வோம், எல்லாரையும் உயர்த்துவோம் அப்படிங்கிறது தான். தமிழ்நாட்டை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் தேசிய இயக்கங்கள் இரண்டாம் பட்சம். இங்க இருக்கிற பிராந்திய கட்சிகள் முதலிடம் பெறுவது கடந்த 60 ஆண்டுகளாக இங்கே அரசியலில் நடைபெற்று கொண்டிருக்கிறது. அரசியல் மேடை இல்லை. இருந்தாலும் திரு அண்ணாமலை ஐபிஎஸ் அவர்கள் எங்களுக்கு மாநில தலைவராக கிடைத்த பிறகு எங்களுக்கு டெல்லியோட தொடர்பு அதிகமாகி இருக்கிறது. உங்களுடைய குரல் அங்கே ஒழிக்கும். எல்லாருக்குமே டெல்லி தெரியும். எல்லாம் ராஜஸ்தான், குஜராத், பல்வேறு மாநிலங்கள்ல இருந்து இங்க வந்திருக்கீங்க. இங்க இருக்கிற தலைவர்களை விட அது தெரியும். ஆனால் நம்ம தொழில் செய்கிற சூழல் தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்கும். தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்கக்கூடிய பிரச்சனைகள் தான் நம்ம தொழிலுக்கு சாதகமா பாதகமா அமையக்கூடிய வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிறது. இன்னும் நிறைய பிரச்சனை, ஜிஎஸ்டியில ஏதாவது ஒரு சின்ன பிரச்சனைகள் வரலாம். பல துறைகள்ல இன்றைக்கு நிறைய மாற்றங்கள் நம்ம கொண்டு வந்திருக்கிறோம். மாற்றங்கள் தனிநபரை பாதிப்பதற்காக பாரத பிரதமர் நரேந்திர மோடி அவர்கள் எந்த திட்டத்தையும் கொண்டு வரல. சில நேரங்களில் நமக்கு பாதிப்பா தோணலாம். நீ ஒழுங்கா ட்ரெஸ் பண்ணி யூனிஃபார்ம் போட்டுட்டு வான்னு சொன்னா அது கொஞ்சம் பாதிப்பா தோணலாம் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டுக்கு. ஆனா அந்த யூனிஃபார்ம் போட்டு பழகிட்டோம்னா அவனே யூனிஃபார்ம் தான் ஸ்கூலுக்கு வர மாட்டான். அப்படி சில மாற்றங்களை நீங்க டிமானிட்டைசேஷன் பெரிய ப்ராப்ளம்னு இங்க இருக்கிற முதலமைச்சர் சொன்னார். அது ஒரு கருப்பு தினம்னு சொன்னார். ஆனா அதுதான் இந்த நாட்டுக்கு வெள்ளை தினம். டிமானிட்டைசேஷன் வந்த பிறகுதான் 1% இன்கம் டாக்ஸ் கட்டின இந்த நாட்டுல இன்னைக்கு இப்பதான் 2% உயர்ந்திருக்கு. நீங்க இங்கிலாந்து பாரு, பிரான்ஸை பாரு, அமெரிக்காவை பாரு, நீங்க சினிமாவில் டைலாக் எழுதுவாங்க. இன்னைக்கு இங்கிலாந்துல நீங்க இன்கம் டாக்ஸ் ஃபைல் பண்ற ரேஷியோ பாத்தீங்கன்னா 64%. 64%. நம்ம ஃபைல் பண்ற ரேஷியோ பாத்தீங்கன்னா 3%. இன்கம் டாக்ஸ் கட்டுறவங்க பார்த்தா 2%. எங்க கீழே இருக்கும் பாருங்க. ஆனா இன்னைக்கு உலக வல்லரசோட போட்டி போடக்கூடிய நிலையில் இருக்கிறோம். இவ்வளவு கொரோனால எல்லாரும் பாதிக்கப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. எல்லா தொழில்களுக்கும் பாதிப்பு. சௌபாகியா அண்ணா விளம்பரமா பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பார். கடையை அடைச்சு போட்டு திறக்கிறதுக்கே 1.5 வருஷம் என்ன ஆகுது? எல்லாருக்கும், ஒவ்வொரு தனி மனிதருக்கும், தொழிலதிபருக்கும் இது பாதிப்பான நாள். இதெல்லாம் கடந்து செல்லக்கூடிய வல்லமை ஆற்றல் நமக்கு இருக்கிறது. அதை நம்ம மேம்படுத்துறதுக்கு தான் பல புதுமையான திட்டங்களை நம்ம கொடுத்தோம். ஜிஎஸ்டி என்பதும் இன்றைக்கு ஒரு வெளிப்படை தன்மையோடு எல்லாரும் செயல்படுற வாய்ப்பு இன்றைக்கு உருவாகி இருக்கு. அதன் மூலம் ஒவ்வொருவருடைய பொருளாதார சக்தி எவ்வளவு இருக்கு, அந்த பொருளாதார சக்தியின் அடிப்படையில் அந்த நிறுவனம் சின்ன நிறுவனம் பெருசாகலாம், பெருசு கார்பரேட் நிறுவனம் ஆகலாம். அப்படிதான் நம்ம ஆசைப்படுறோம். ஆனால் எல்லாமே இங்க அரசியலா பார்க்கப்பட்டுருச்சு. இருந்தாலும் உங்களுடைய குரலை எங்கள் மாநில தலைவர் அண்ணாமலை எப்பொழுதும் ஒழிக்க தயாராக இருக்கிறார். நீங்க டெல்லிக்கு போக வேண்டாம், கமலாலயம் வாங்க, நம்ம பிரச்சனையை விவாதிப்போம், தீர்ப்போம் என்று சொல்லி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி.
Thank you, sir. Before I could give the mic to our Annamalai sir, in the meeting oda mukkiyamaana karuthu ennaradhu, what are the facts of the meeting today அப்படினா உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருமே தெரியும். Because this is, we are going to let out our words and what we have with us, நம்ம as an industrialist நமக்கு என்ன இருக்கு, what we are going through, everything is going to reflect on the talk. Any doubts or whatever, anything you want to talk, after the speech we will have an interaction session for 10-15 minutes. That time you can ask him whatever it is. Okay, now I hand over the mic to our State President Annamalai sir.
அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய இனிமையான மாலை வணக்கம். Dignitaries on the stage, Mr. Siddharth, President of the Other Language Cell, BJP Tamil Nadu, Mr. Karun Nagarajan, who is our General Secretary for the party in Tamil Nadu, Johnson, who is the Vice President of the Minority Morcha, BJP Tamil Nadu, and all the dignitaries who are here. Though I wanted to take your name specifically and thank you for all the contribution that you have done to this great state of Tamil Nadu, but due to the time shortage, I am not mentioning your name. All of you are very unique, all of you are very great, and in a way you have built Tamil Nadu for what it is. Bharatiya, long time back, used to say, if you really have to emerge as a global human being, you got to cross the ocean, you got to cross the seas. Very few people have the courage and the daringness to do it. I remember when I got to the Indian Police Service, my dearest batchmate went by the name Kuldeep Kumar Jain. I met him on day one of the Hyderabad training. He was speaking wonderful Tamil, beautiful Tamil, and all of us were very surprised. I asked him, "You are from which state?" He said, "I am from the state of Tamil Nadu." He is a very proud Tamilian. He is currently the Deputy Commissioner of Police Crime in Bangalore City. He identifies himself as a Tamilian, as Tamil Nadu, a guy born in Saukarpet, third generation Tamilian, who came all the way from Pali, Rajasthan, many years back. It reflects the authentic Tamil spirit of who we are. And then my very dearest batchmate. So Kuldeep Kumar Jain reflects who we are. Anybody who comes to this wonderful place, wonderful land, who does their business, creates employment for thousands of Tamilians, truly reflects who they are. As a proud Bharatian, as a proud Tamilian, so all of us are Tamilian, all of us are Bharatians, all of us are Indian. That is the spirit in which Bharatiya Janata Party operates. And especially I have to compliment you for two reasons. One, in a way that you are the builders of modern India, you are the builders of modern Tamil Nadu. Any businessman who puts his sweat, who puts his hard work, creates something out of nothing, who takes that risk by virtue of his capital, who employs into this great state, and all of you need to be admired. And second, you are in a way a bond that holds the state. If you look at the original Tamil Thai vault, the original Tamil Thai vault is very elaborate. In it, it talks about Kannadigas, it talks about Tiruva people, it talks about Andhras, it talks about every segment of people who are coming to Tamil Nadu and made the state richer. That's the original Tamil Thai vault. And a party which was in power, they curtailed it, they removed all the words which was part of the original Tamil Thai vault, and they retained only the first part which talks only about Tamil Nadu. So that in a way is the proud Tamil tradition. So all of us should feel very happy, should feel very proud that all of us are in a state which is giving you and me the freedom to do what we want. I represent a party, for me, one of the greatest parties in the world, which is about 18.5 crore membership. A party that is led by a very, very noble person, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Less said about him is better, because you all have seen him, some of you might be connected to him from the state of Gujarat, state of Rajasthan and different parts. And BJP Tamil Nadu, it is also our duty to take all of you along with us in this journey of building this beautiful state of Tamil Nadu in this great country of Bharat. That is why I requested Johnson ji and Siddharth ji that a meeting be organized where we can talk to all the eminent North Indian associations here, give you the confidence that we are there for you for any issues that you face, be it a business issue, be it a political issue, anything you face, we are there for you. It is our duty to stand with you. Because some disturbing statements were made by ministers. We have observed it, where some ministers have made very disturbing statements. We should not feel out of place whatever people say. It is our duty to stand by you, and we will stand by you no matter what. This is something which you should take it as a matter of right. Take it as a matter of right. It's a matter of right. And second, we firmly believe a state like Tamil Nadu to come out of the second wave of corona, possibly a third wave, and to maintain that economic output, you would play a very major role. In that process, it is natural that you will have a lot of issues to take up with the government in Delhi, and some issues needs to be sorted out, be it Karunagarajan ji mentioned. Whatever be that issue, be it a financial issue, be it the other issues also, our party is there as a bridge between Chennai and Delhi. So we are there as a bridge. There is the General Secretary sitting here, and I am there as a President here. So you are most welcome to visit us, talk to us, represent your case with whoever it is, and rest assured we will definitely do a fighting for you. There are many issues which we can solve. There are many issues which will take time. There are many issues which a representation can be put. When the country is ready, that issue will be solved there. So you all very experienced businessmen. So the second thing, rest assured we are there. My only request to you is you got to stand with Modi ji. That's very important. And especially in a city like Chennai, we see a lot of sentiments, anti-Modi sentiments being spread across some major cities in terms of employment, in terms of business outlook, in terms of business people looking at the government. So 2014 you stood with us, no doubt. 2019 you stood with us. So I have come very early, 3 years before, to make a pitch to you. 2024 also you will stand with us, because it's very important that Modi ji retains the third term, BJP retains the third term in the country. There are a lot of things which is in the middle of something. So the next 10 minutes I would try and present you an alternate vision that many of us might not see in the mainstream media. That's very important. I, as a party president, give you that outlook to you. When Modi ji took over as the country's Prime Minister in 2014 May, you'll be very surprised that 18,000 villages did not have electricity. I'm not talking of houses not having electricity. I'm talking of villages not having electricity. He made a pledge in 1,000 days. The last village in India would be electrified, and 867th day, the last village of India was electrified. Then, this is 70 odd years after independence. We needed Narendra Modi ji to come to Delhi, sit and talk about a huge division of India between haves and have-nots. Somebody in Orissa, probably Kalahandi, you go that deep into Orissa, not having one full square meal. People eat the old mangoes, the dried up mangoes, and all those meal was only with that. And somebody very high up in the northeastern part of India, in Nagaland, and you go very deep into Mizoram, they've never seen electricity in their life despite 75 years post-independence. So Modi is the guy who came and bridged that. So that is the first thing he did it. In India, which was seen outside as a country of snake charmers, a country of magicians, a country of cheats, that's the India that was projected. You know, though I will not speak politics here, but you all know 2014 how India was, how the world looked at India. The Commonwealth Games, a toilet paper was purchased for 967 rupees. And a tile that was used to build the athletes' thing in Pune, a single tile, maybe 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter was purchased for 2,500 rupees. We all have seen it. And from there to a country in 2021, 7 years later, when United Nations, 3-4 committees, we are the chairman, the whole world looks at India. There is no more meddling of Pakistan, no more meddling of Afghanistan. Right now, as we speak, the US Secretary of State is in Delhi to sort out some internal issues. There's no more statements from US now. They can say that we will just interfere here and there. India's opinion matters now. It took Modi ji 7 years not only to transform India internally, but also to transform India externally. So that is something which we have to understand. In the process, a lot of very important decisions have been taken. In terms of financial decisions, be it the GST, because we wanted to go for a one nation, one taxation system, which 140 countries are having already, and which was started in Congress for a long time back. Nobody could build the cat for various reasons. And finally, after a lot of persuasion, a lot of talking to political parties, the day came when the GST got implemented in India. A lot of rationalization is happening. Some of you might be happy, some of you might not be happy, because it's a work in progress. Every day the GST council meets, there is some taxation revision happening somewhere, there is some revision happening here and there. So that is something which we all should feel proud about. There is no more local taxation, octroi tax, this tax, that tax, 7-8 taxation, government bribery to move a goods from point A to point B. The average lorry was taking about 34 km per hour. That was the speed in which 7 km per day. In some days also it was happening. Now there is a faster movement of goods within the country. I am sure as a businessman you will appreciate it. With respect to the demonetization, you know there was an asset bubble that was cropping up in the country. The economy was overheating in a way. At the same time, a lot of black money was stashed abroad, countries from Dominican Republic, countries in different countries. Countries were selling citizenship as a matter of price. You can do a mistake here, you can run away to any part of the world, you can buy your citizenship there. It was like that. And slowly, steadily, India is tightening up its legal framework across the world. And one way or the other, the people who have defrauded the taxation system, the people who have defrauded the country, slowly and steadily they are being brought to book. You might say, after Modi ji came, this guy ran away, that guy ran away, this guy ran away. But after Modi ji came, only we got to know the books are cooked. And by the time the agencies, because it's a democratic country, it's not a dictatorship like Saudi Arabia, you can just put a blanket order and say everybody's house arrest. You remember when Mohammed bin Salman took over as the new chief of Saudi Arabia, he said, 7 days, all business people under arrest. And they said, $10 trillion I will take from you. Then only you are released. India is a democratic country. There is a mechanism, there is a CBI, and there is an NIA, there is an ED, which will go through your book, there is a process, then you generate a warrant, then you catch them. By the process, the whole books got neat. Many companies, from the airlines to banks to everybody, moment they knew there is a noose around their neck, they all ran away. So that credit is also going to Modi ji, because a loan, a personal home loan which was costing about 14.5% is about 6.5%, 7%, historical loan. When you go to Japan, you can take a personal loan for 1%. When you go to Germany, it's 0.5%. In a country of India which is growing, the business people in a way were also suffering with 14.5%, 15%. You also appreciate the fact, because of a lot of cleaning of books, a lot of ways in which a lot of money got into the banking system, the net rate of interest in which you take a loan has come down. That is something which all of us have to appreciate. At the same time, issues like GST has tightened the noose a little bit further. Though you might flip and complain that you got more people to look after the books, there is a taxation filing mechanism every month, every 3 months, so it is making you cumbersome also. You have to understand
that is not definitely done to harm you. It is in a way trying to create a better marketplace for you. It might take time. It's all a work in progress. Nobody has got a magic wand. Next day things will get proper. But you got to rest assured that the government is with you, BJP is with you, Modi is with you to make your business better, to make your life better. So probably small hiccups might be there here and there. If you look at the larger perspective of a country, this is the safest country in India's history. If you take 1947 to 2021, you remember every time a bomb blast happens, be it Bangalore, be it Pune, be it Mumbai, be it any part of India, which is just happening just like that. Every Deepavali you can expect a bomb blast. Every Pongal, when there is a huge congregation, you can expect a bomb blast. But probably the safest time in India is the last 7 years. Cross-border terrorism is controlled to a major way. Article 370 is finally giving rise to the famous slogan that BJP lives up to: one country, one law, one flag. So all those things are happening steadily. So we are very peaceful. Nobody is afraid now. I can go to any movie theater, sit there. I can walk into any market, be it a Delhi market, be it a Bangalore market. I am not afraid that the enemies will target me. So that safe infrastructure is also being created. And for the first time, the hardworking people like you can feel very proud. The honest tax that you pay is being used very honestly. That's very important. Though you might say that I'm paying minimum alternate tax is this much, MAT, I'm paying 30%, I'm paying 25%, whatever be your taxation slab. For the first time, we are confident that money is coming down back to the people who need it the most. When Rajiv Gandhi said for every 1 rupee the government spends, only 15 paise comes down, 85 paise just gets lost in the huge pile of corruption. After a long time, you will very well appreciate the fact 80% of India operates in bank account now. They get their subsidies in bank account. They get their fertilizer subsidies in bank account. They get their LPG subsidies in bank account. They get their micro irrigation subsidy in bank account. So money comes back. Yes, like Karunakaran properly mentioned, a growing country, the tax compliance is very poor. 1%, 1.5%. We are reaching about 5% now. There are a lot of have-nots, as we mentioned. 18,000 villages don't have electricity. The below poverty line, if you look at the Tendulkar Committee report, just when the Congress went out of power, 46% of India were technically below poverty. Though United Nations talks about $1, 45 rupees per day is nothing. It's nothing. If you take about 300 rupees as an average per day, 45% of India is below 300 rupees per day, which is roughly about $6. So that country to bounce back to where we are, we can buy planes now, we can import anything for our army. The forex exchange reserve is at a healthy $350 billion now, and we are very confident of facing any flood, any natural disaster, anything. We are very confident as a country. You remember when the tsunami came in 2004, you remember where we were? We were struggling. Cut back to about 10 years now, 2016, 2017, we are a very confident country. Anything we can face. So rest assured that all of our taxpaying money is coming back in a very honest way, in a very methodical way. It is reaching to the people who need it the most. That what motivated me to join the party. Maybe that is what motivated Karunakaran ji, who was running a very successful party outside, to join him. Now coming to the people who are most people who are sitting here, and we have Mr. Johnson. This is a name you don't see often in BJP circle. A Christian name who is a vice president of the minority Morcha. Unlike what other parties talk about BJP, we are a party for all, and all of us are welcome. And all of us should be here to build a very confident nation. So we have a Johnson, we have a Siddharth from Gujarat, and we have an Annamalai who looks as Dravidian as the DMK, and we have a Karunakarajan who looks as Dravidian as the DMK. I think this is going to be the success of BJP Tamil Nadu in the next 5 years. Nobody can call this party that party. We are a party for all. So we are a party for you, we are a party for any person like me whose root is here, a proper farmer. We are a party for Karunakarajan ji. And we are very confident next 4-5 years, BJP Tamil Nadu would be at its best. We would grow very massively, we would grow very fast, we would grow very aggressive, and probably would come to power also. And I'm not very ashamed to say, whenever I take a mic, to say from 4 to 150, it's a matter of time. It's just a mental switch. From Tripura, if you look 5 years back, the party was only at 1.53%. Now the party is at 54%. In a matter of 5 years, BJP's vote share has shifted from 1.53 to 54. It's possible. Only thing is we got to reach more people. Tamil Nadu alone, out of 8.5 crore people, if you look at the old people, the young people, every single person, BJP, Modi ji's schemes have reached somewhere between 3.5 to 4 crore. That that many people are one beneficiary. They have got one or the other. Modi's major scheme, I'm not touching into minor scheme. Some major scheme they are a beneficiary. Be it a farmer, be it a lady who has opened a Jan Dhan account, be it anybody, be it a lady who has got a free gas connection, everything. So let us together build a very prosperous Tamil Nadu, a corruption-free Tamil Nadu. So nobody should stand in front of a minister, possibly a DMK minister, 1 square feet எவ்வளவு கொடுப்பீங்க? And we should not negotiate with some broker standing outside the secretariat. முன்னாடி 12 ரூபா வாங்கிட்டு இருந்தாங்க, இப்போ 14 ரூபா ஆயிடுச்சுங்க, 2 ரூபா குறைக்க முடியுங்க. That's against the BJP's culture. That is against the cell in which we operate. We are not for that. We are for a corruption-free state. Such a beautiful state, such a great state. If you look at it, this state has slowed down its progress. The last 5 minutes, I'll take your time, please. Normally, when people say after the Dravidian parties have come in, Tamil Nadu is doing better. We have statistics, we have arguments to prove. The pace of development, the pace of Tamil Nadu's growth has actually slowed down in the last 25 years. If you look at the pre-Tamil Nadu, before the Dravidian era, 1967, when the DMK came to power, if you look at the net irrigated area of Tamil Nadu, vis-a-vis to Karnataka, at that point of time, half of it was Madras Presidency, 56 it got divided, maybe to Bihar, maybe to UP. If you look at any single state, Tamil Nadu is doing far, far, far better. Any data you take, if you look at the industrial output, Tamil Nadu is doing far better. If you look at every single thing, Tamil Nadu is far better. Now you cut back 50 years, 70 years, 60 years later, 2021, Tamil Nadu is no more growing at the double-digit speed it is supposed to grow. The annual state budget is about 3 lakh crore. Maharashtra is about 5.5 lakh crore. It is doing much better. The investment attraction into Tamil Nadu over the last 6-7 years is not very, very healthy, not very happy. States like Telangana, states like Hyderabad, they are taking all the big ticket guys out. Big ticket guys are the Googles and the Facebooks and the big industrial guys. Tamil Nadu definitely needs an alternate vision. So BJP is the only party which is going to give you an alternate vision, which is going to give an alternate vision to the people of Tamil Nadu. At the same time, we have problems. We are very honest enough to admit BJP Tamil Nadu has got some problems which are addressing. One is a narrative problem. Whatever you say, they attack us with the language, they attack us with the narrative, they attack us with being very centric and all those stuff, which we are rectifying, which we are portraying in a better sense to the public. That is one. And second, BJP Tamil Nadu has got a problem in reaching out all segments of Tamil Nadu. The 13,000 villages, we want to reach out to every single village. Like the DMK is very strong booth to booth in 67,000 booths. Come by 2024, we will also be in all the 67,000 booths. We will not ride on anybody's shoulder to get those votes. We are having a vision and we are working to that vision, and there is going to be an alternate developmental model for Tamil Nadu. There is going to be an alternate political approach from what BJP has taken till now, from what BJP will take in the next many, many years from now. And last but not the least, we are as Dravidian as the Dravidian party. Because as Ambedkar rightly said, when somebody asked him, what is this Aryan theory? And the book called Who's a Shudra, Ambedkar has written. If you ask me whether the Aryan theory is true, I would say the best place for Aryan theory's resting is the history of Kashmir. There is nothing called an Aryan-Dravidian divide, which was created by the British. If you happen to read Aravind Neelakantan's book, a masterful book, which talks about how the whole thing was spinned out, the whole thing was created, an Aryan and Dravidian divide was created in Tamil Nadu, then later the political tool was used when Mr. Periyar, who was part of Congress for a long time, he was the first elected municipal chairman of Congress in Erode. Then later in 1941 he was a Congress president in 1925, 1926 he resigned from Congress. Nobody spoke about Aryan Dravidian. Till 1941 when Periyar was part of the Dravidar Kalagam, which was only opposing a certain political ideology in Tamil Nadu, nobody was talking about Aryan Dravidian. When they felt a divide and rule policy the only way to conquer Tamil Nadu, then this Dravidian model came in, and some missionaries who were there as part of the East India Company's process, G.U. Pope and some other pastors and fathers, they started giving more feet to this theory. And now Tamil Nadu is a state that is run by a party in which the founding philosophy itself is bogus. So we will take everything to people's house. We will be more aggressive, more communicative, better communicative in the next 5 years. And I only request you to stay with the party, stay with Modi ji. A political party has got two businesses to do. The first business is to take you along, solve your business. The second business a political party legitimately expects is to help the people to help us when we need you the most, to stand with us, to make sure that you stand with our ideology. You ask your employees, you all have a larger set of employees, so to take our party's vision to them and give us an opportunity to meet them as and when the time is right. So with this, I sincerely thank Siddharth Anna எனக்கு இந்த வாய்ப்பு கொடுத்து இந்த மாதிரி இந்த அற்புதமான ஒரு அரங்கில் இங்கே இருக்கக்கூடிய அனைத்து தலைவர்களையும் அனைத்து நண்பர்களையும் பார்த்து நம்முடைய கட்சியை பற்றி நம்முடைய சித்தாந்தத்தை பற்றி அடுத்த 5 வருட காலத்திலே இந்த கட்சி எப்படி வளரும் என்கின்ற ஒரு பாதையை அவர்களுக்கு சொல்வதற்கு ஒரு வாய்ப்பு கொடுத்தீர்கள். சித்தார்த் அவர்களுக்கு என்னுடைய மனமார்ந்த நன்றிகள். நம்முடைய அன்பு தம்பி ஜான்சன் அவர்கள் வேகமாக மிக மிக குறுகிய காலத்திலே இந்த எல்லா சங்கத்தையும் நீங்கள் பார்த்து பேசி சிறப்பான இந்த விஷயத்தை ஆர்கனைஸ் செய்து எனக்கும் கருணாகராஜன் அவர்களுக்கும் இங்கே பேசுவதற்கு ஒரு வாய்ப்பு கொடுத்த உங்களுக்கும் நன்றியை தெரிவித்து இங்கே வந்திருக்கக்கூடிய அனைத்து நண்பர்களுக்கும் I respectfully with a lot of humility I thank you all for coming despite a short notice given to you. Together let us build a better Tamil Nadu, let us build a prosperous Tamil Nadu, let us build a state that can proudly reclaim its glory in the true Bharat. Let us all work together for that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. I think exactly on 28 minutes talk, it actually showed the perfect future of Tamil Nadu. The way every line what he was telling, it's like when you imagine those lines, it's like already the government is formed, BJP government has taken over Tamil Nadu, and the plans and every detail has been clearly by Anand. It's a great speech, sir. So now we have the interaction session, and our leader is very much welcome to any kind of questions from A to Z, bad to worst, anything. So I will just pass on the mic so you can ask. Okay, yeah, suggestions and questions. Whatever you want to share with our president, you can share it.
Good evening, sir. I am Suresh Mutha. I represent JITO, which is Jain International Trade Organization, as the national president. Actually, today evening is a moment of pride for us, and for me particularly, seeing a youngster like you joining, So, and I believe BJP has arrived in Tamil Nadu. It feels to me today. And also especially, the cadre, the IPS background that you have also makes us believe that Indian politics are now in the safe hands. I would like to, on behalf of Jain International Trade Organization, which is a 40,000 members organization, would like to assure you that we are.
நமது தலைவர் பாரதிய ஜனதா பார்ட்டியின் தமிழ்நாடு ஸ்டேட் பிரசிடென்ட் அண்ணாமலை ஐயா அவர்களே, மேலும் கரு நாகராஜன் சார், சித்தார்த் சார், ஜான்சன். சாயங்காலம் டைம் பார்த்தோம்னா நான் பரவாயில்ல நீங்க இருக்கு, நான் அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் பேசுறேன் ப்ளீஸ். ஐயோ நீங்க உட்காந்துருங்க, எனக்கு என்னதான் பேச்சு வரும், வேற ஒன்றும் இல்லை. ஸோ இந்த சாயங்கால டைம்ல பார்த்தோம்னா மாலை நேரத்தில் ரொம்ப அற்புதமா இருந்தது. நீங்க எத்தனை நிமிஷம் பேசுனீங்கன்னு தெரியல, இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பேச மாட்டீங்களான்னு ஏகிட்டு இருந்தோம். அந்த அளவுக்கு முத்தாய்ப்பா இருந்துச்சு உங்களுடைய ஒவ்வொரு வார்த்தைகளுமே. பொலிட்டிக்கல் ஹீரோ அப்படின்னாங்க, இல்லைங்க அவர் ரியல் ஹீரோ. என்ன காரணம்னா இவர் எம்எல்ஏ கேண்டிடேட் அறிவிக்கிற அப்பயே என்னுடைய பசங்கள்லாம் இவருடைய ஃபேன்ஸ். அந்த அளவுக்கு ரியல் ஹீரோ